What's going on, everybody? My name is MT, and it's showtime, a-holes! Oh, what? You surprised? Oh, you thought I gave up, didn't you? You thought that a year's worth of public rejection by one of Hollywood's greatest superhero movie directors of all time would break me, didn't you? I knew it! You didn't have faith in me! Ha ha ha! Joke's on you! Turns out you were only half right. I didn't give up, but this Easter egg hunt has very much broken me mentally and emotionally. But in a good way. The fever dreams allow me to sweat while I sleep, so I don't have to go to the gym anymore in the morning. It's great. And also not how science works at all. But anyways, without further ado, let's talk about some crazy shit. Because, dear God, I've got some crazy shit to say today. Because, ladies and gentlemen of the internet, the big missing Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 Easter egg is literally an egg. You just didn't know that you were looking at one. Like, I'm not even joking or exaggerating, guys. The Easter egg is literally a giant egg. Probably the biggest egg you have ever unknowingly seen in your entire lifetime. Because that egg is this thing right here, right there. But MT, what are you talking about? That's not an egg, that's a planet. Yes, please, thank you, Barnaby. Thank you for informing me of a thing that I was already aware of, Barnaby. I know that's a freaking planet, Barnaby, because I too have the functioning eyeballs. Barnaby, I'm not sure why I'm calling you Barnaby, because Barnaby is not a common name. However, just because this planet doesn't look like an egg doesn't mean it's not an egg. But before I get into all that, just what is this planet anyway? I mean, has it appeared in the MCU or the Marvel Comics in the past? Well, the answer to that question is both super simple and extremely vague at the same time, because this planet is none other than the Pilgrim planet, formerly known as Sanctuary. And yes, that Sanctuary, and yes, this planet has appeared in the Marvel Comics in the past, but it's just that no one gave a shit about it. Like, nobody. Because the one and only time Sanctuary has ever shown up within the Marvel Comics universe is in Guardians of the Galaxy, issue number 58, published in the year 1995. The year in which I achieved my life's greatest accomplishment of becoming 3 years old. But anyways, in this old-ass issue of Guardians, we find out that Sanctuary is a planet unlike any other, because although it is a world filled with different types of alien people from many different types of alien races and backgrounds and whatever, every single being on Sanctuary has a common bond. One common thing that binds them all together like Siamese brethren, and that powerful force is deep, crippling depression, the most magical force of them all, and a sensation that most American college graduates are no strangers to, like myself. I'm poor. But no, seriously, Sanctuary is a planet where a bunch of depressed religious aliens go to reflect on and repent for the various sins that they committed against whatever flying spaghetti monster space god from whatever space religion they believe to be true. So whether you just feel really bad about trying to kill your nephew for being too obsessed about his evil grandpa, or just feel really guilty about that one time you watched those two black girls do strangely arousing things to that train set on Pornhub, doesn't matter. If your ass feels like running away to cry about it in a brown robe on a weird-ass church planet that probably ain't got no damn Wi-Fi anyway, you can do that. I mean, not sure why anybody would do that, because it sounds boring as hell, but hey, I'm not judging you, God is. But yeah, long story short, this planet that the celestial Eson the Searcher is destroying in the scene with the Collector is Sanctuary, which would mean that these little soon-to-be black sand people are the religious, repentant citizens of Sanctuary, as evidenced by their long, flowing, robe-ass robe garments and their immense fear of space gods from outer space. But it's not like a respect fear, like you would respect, you would fear God. It's more like a, oh shit, he's got a stick. Okay, so now that we know exactly what this planet was before it crumbled like a fine croissant, let's talk about the whole literal egg thing I brought up earlier before the ADD that continually ruins my life kicked in, shall we? I'm not really sure how to say this without sounding completely crazy, so I'm just gonna come out and just say it, okay? Celestials are chickens. Have you ever wondered just how a celestial becomes born? It's some crazy shit, man. There are actually a couple of ways celestials have been made in the Marvel Comics in the past, but the main and most canonical way celestials crank out their robot NBA murder babies is through something that I like to call planetary impregnation. Hooray! Yep, because actually physically giving birth to a celestial baby the normal way usually results in the death of the celestial host mother. The celestials usually opt to use the cores of actual planets with people on them as surrogate mothers to nourish and carry their robo babies to term, much like an egg nourishes and carries baby chickens and turtles and, I don't know, fucking Big Bird, probably. And, of course, if you're going to make an omelet or a giant space chicken, you've got to crack a few eggs. And so, when a celestial gets born, it usually results in the immediate death and destruction of said planet that they were inside of, so that baby can finally emerge from that planet's core after millions of years of gestation and babyfication. And if that sounds like a pretty shitty thing to do, that's because it is. But that's how the planetary cookie crumbles, baby. Celestials gotta do what celestials gotta do. And that is exactly what we are witnessing right here. The birth of a celestial being. Because, as I have noted in previous Guardians of the Galaxy Easter egg videos, as soon as Eson the Searcher slams his staff on the ground, we see this imagery of the planet cracking open from within the planet and the sun hitting the face of a being that has been living inside of this planet for presumably a long-ass time. A being that is, most likely, a newborn celestial. But MT, just who is this newborn celestial being inside of Sanctuary anyway? Well, I don't know, but if you would like my strongest guess, the strongest guess that I have in my pocket, I'm going to have to go with the nameless celestial now known as Nowhere, the headquarters of the Collector and the Tavan Group. I only say this for a couple of reasons that are probably not even legitimate, but this little indent at the top of his nose is probably a visual callback to Nowhere's nose indent in the comics, and two, the fact that the Collector and his organization, the Tavan Group, most likely salvaged all the information we see within the Collector's projections from the very brain of Nowhere himself before he had his corporation mine the Celestial's brain tissue, bone tissue, spinal fluid, and whatever to sell on the black market. Like, there was actual celestial organs being sold on the black market. I mean, that's really one of the only reasons that I can think of why the Collector has this particular footage in the first place. I mean, the Collector is old as hell, but I very much doubt that he was actually there on the ground while that shit was happening, because he would be dead. Unless the Collector is associated with the Watchers as an informant or something, much like Stan Lee was in Guardians 2. And yes, I know that sounds crazy considering that Stan Lee's Guardians 2 cameo was probably just a joke, all in good fun. However, something like that would explain why the Collector's presentation windows are designed like the windows the Watchers use in the comics to watch shit, like in the little purple circle windows. But anyways, also, in this very scene, the Collector actually seems to flex his deep knowledge of celestial biology by showing us imagery of what I believe to be actual celestial biology, while he is talking about actual celestial biology. Stuff like celestial neurons and celestial essence, and even what I believe to be the region of the celestial brain that is very reminiscent to that of Ego, the Living Planet's brain area. But yeah, that's my strongest guess anyway. I mean, I am inclined to also believe that this celestial being born within the depths of Sanctuary could actually also end up being Thanos himself, as he does seem to have some type of personal connection to the remains of this planetary egg of Sanctuary. But I don't know, man. It could be Nowhere, it could be Thanos, and hell, it could even be both of them at different incarnations of their cosmic lives. Who knows how the MCU is going to interpret Thanos? I don't know. I'm not Kevin Feige yet, but my money is on Nowhere, personally. But if it is Thanos, you gotta give that to me, James. I mean, come on, man. Please. Just please. This is all I have in this world. This Guardians of the Galaxy hunt is what keeps me going. It helps me wake up in the morning. Helps me go to work. Helps me brush my teeth. But anyways, that's it for the Easter eggy portion of this video, I think. The Easter egg is a celestial egg of Sanctuary, which makes perfect sense considering that out of all the celestials, it was the celestial Eson the Searcher, the Searcher, who was there destroying the planet. Though the Celestials are known throughout the universe for destroying planets that do not fit their criteria or agenda or whatever, the destruction of Sanctuary was not a judgment, because destroying planets for the sake of retribution is not Eson the Searcher's job. You probably want to call Arishem the Judge or Exitar the Executioner for that shit. Eson the Searcher does not destroy planets for fun. Eson searches for things, plain and simple. And in this case, Eson was searching for a small child in a pregnant planet, but he couldn't find the planet's vagina, so he was forced to do a C-section. But in this case, the C stands for cease to exist, because everybody died immediately. Not exactly ideal, but hey, look at the bright side. At least that planet doesn't have to worry about post-pregnancy stretch marks. So, you know, there's that. And you guys already know the drill. If you guys could please tweet this video at James Gunn on Twitter so we can see it, I would be eternally grateful, because tweeting actually really helps a lot, because he'll see the video, he'll watch it, and maybe he'll even verify it. He is actually really good at verifying my videos, and I'm extremely thankful for that. James Gunn and Stephen Blackheart have been so great with helping me with my journey towards the Easter egg, and I cannot thank them enough. If I could kiss them on the face without it being weird, gosh darn it, I probably would, with consent. Okay, so now that I have revealed the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 Easter egg for like the 25th time now, what could all of this mean for the overall Marvel Cinematic Universe? Let us muse together, shall we? I am a fan of the musing. Musing is my favorite thing. Okay, so celestial babies. They're injected inside of a planet's core after being impregnated by the Celestials in that planet's early days. How are those planets impregnated? I don't want to know. Seems pretty gross. And while I personally may never actually live this life as a pregnant woman, I do know enough about these lovely balloon ladies to know that their little parasitic foreign invaders want one thing and one thing only: nutrients. But if you're a big ass baby from an alien race completely foreign to that planet, how the hell are you going to get the special celestial nutrients needed to grow up bigger and stronger so that you too can use a stick to kill a planet of depressed people? How? That's easy. You stone that baby with rocks, not like with marijuana, of course. That would be irresponsible. Stoning a baby in the womb with rocks is way more humane. Drugs? Not in my country. Because you see, when the time is right, these Celestials will send several deposits of a special nutrient-packed meteor that slams into the Celestial baby's planet and begins to seep those very nutrients into the planet's very soil, so that all those nutrients can get to the baby who is housed inside of the planet's core. Sounds good, right? But just what is this magic maternity meteor anyway? That's a good question. Have you heard of a little something called Vibranium? You know, the same material that Captain America's shield and Black Panther's everything is made of, because that's what that shit is, son. I mean, not exactly the most chewable of vitamin supplements, but hey, you get what you get and you don't get upset. But MT, if Vibranium is a nugget of nutrients for a celestial baby and Earth has Vibranium, that must mean, oh my God! That is right, ladies and gentlemen. I think that the core of the planet Earth is housing a celestial baby in the MCU, much like it did in Marvel's Earth X series from 1999, and that Thanos is coming to Earth to kill it for the purposes of bringing balance to the universe. Because think about it, where the hell are the Celestials anyway? Ego the Living Planet had been living for millions upon millions of years, but had no knowledge of where the hell he came from, and had to resort to banging an endless sea of gross alien women across the cosmos during those millions of years to find just one other Celestial in the universe needed to fulfill his goals of expansion. Imagine having all the sex you want for millions of years. It's terrible. It's terrible. I think that the Celestials are all dead, and that MCU Thanos probably killed them all somehow, as probably evidenced by Nowhere, the severed head of a celestial being. Did you see a severed head on your way to work today? No, because that shit doesn't just happen on its own. As we saw in the Infinity War trailer, Thanos believes himself to be this sleeveless universe balancer. Though he is a threat to the planet Earth, I think that MCU Thanos' overall goal could be to prevent the Celestials from over-impregnating all of the planets in the universe, and thus ending the universe as we know it. A cosmic role that was originally held by Galactus, the Planet Eater, in the comics. But since Marvel Studios didn't have the rights to Galactus until fairly recently, Thanos was probably their next logical choice. So yeah, I think that Thanos wants to get at the Earth's core to kill the celestial baby. Or, counter theory, maybe, just maybe, Thanos actually wants the celestial baby to be born. Because think about it. If the Celestials used to be alive and they all hypothetically died off for whatever reason, then the universe would technically be out of balance. Especially in the eyes of Thanos, because the Celestials, regardless of their mysterious motives, do a shitload of universal cleansing in the form of regular, frequent planetary genocide. And since Thanos does have a deep obsession with death, this routine interplanetary mass extinction of races throughout the universe seems like just the kind of thing Thanos might buy a monthly subscription for, because that's his shit, man. That's his jam. I don't know, whether it's for the purposes of killing or hatching the Celestial within the planet, I think that Thanos may just be coming to Earth with the Infinity Stones for the purposes of getting to this dormant Celestial. Or probably to get to the Soul Stone, which I also think could be at the Earth's core. But that's not what this video's about, so just forget I even said anything. I didn't say a damn thing. Soulstone? What Soulstone? It's not even real. Soul? What is a soul? I don't have one. But anyways, the way that this celestial vibranium works is that it actually changes the planet's natural minerals within the environment into food and energy for the celestial. Like, it's literally changing the chemistry of the planet and then spreading out and down from the point of impact. And yeah, sure, now we got ourselves a nice, well-nourished celestial baby, but what else does the vibranium do, MT? What else does it do? I will tell you what it does, you dingus, because as soon as that baby is done cooking in the womb, all that there vibranium, the organic tissue of the baby absorbs, will eventually become the Celestial's outer shell. You know, the Celestial's robot-looking armor. By the way, I'm not making all this shit up, because all the facts that I'm saying about universe balancing and celestial prenatal biology in this part of the video come straight from the pages of one of my favorite, most meticulously written Marvel series of all time, 1999's Earth X. Spoiler alert, humanity ends up getting $0 for child support, because Celestials have really good lawyers and don't give a fuck at all. They don't care. Earth X, Meredith Quill X, I don't know. Just saying. But what hints does the MCU give to support this notion of vibranium being compatible with organic tissue? That's a good question. How about everything about the Vision underneath the sweater? In Avengers Age of Ultron, while Ultron is creating his new android body with Helen Cho, we see that not only is vibranium naturally compatible with skin tissue cells on a molecular level, the vibranium molecules also naturally binds with the skin tissue cells very suspiciously easily. Almost like it was meant to. But that is not the only thing Age of Ultron reveals about the nature of vibranium, because everyone likes to seem to forget and ignore the fact that vibranium also holds very unique magnetic properties as well. Properties that could potentially point to a possible relationship to the Earth's core. A little bit anyway. Because not only does Ultron use vibranium to create Vision's android body, vibranium also played a key role in his overall goal of humanity's evolution via planetary suffering through the use of a, wait for it, vibranium-powered meteor. It's freaking poetry, y'all. Goddamn, history is repeating itself. Because the reason why Sokovia didn't fall apart when Ultron lifted it from the ground was because he placed a core of pure vibranium within the very center of the city that emitted in a magnetic field that kept the terrain of the city held tightly together. Because in the real world, if you lift up a city, that shit's gonna crumble immediately. Because, like, what's holding it all together? I think that Ultron knew to place the vibranium in the center of the city to emit a magnetic field because of vibranium's celestial purpose of being part of Earth's core, and therefore part of Earth's own electromagnetic field. Because, just in case you guys don't know, the core of our planet emits an electromagnetic field around our planet that, shields us from the sun's harmful radiations and shit, and also is responsible for the North and South Pole, and the reason why we can use, like, compasses and GPSs and shit. And I also think that we get a neat little glimpse into the magnetic nature of pure vibranium in Captain America's Civil War. Yeah, while Black Panther and Bucky are fighting, Bucky's cybernetic metal arm seems to shake in the presence of T'Challa's ring, a ring that is presumably made out of pure vibranium metal, because he's from Wakanda. KFC's got chicken, and Wakanda's got vibranium. And probably also chicken, because, black people. But anyways, I think that Bucky's arm reacts the way it does because of pure vibranium's mysteriously inherent magnetic properties. Properties that we will most likely learn more about in Black Panther's solo film in February. But that's all just a guess. And yes, I fully realize that all of this sounds completely crazy, and that most likely this part of the video is all just fictional nonsense that I made up in my brain, because a lot of the claims that I have made in this video don't have as much evidence as I would like to even say in such a prestigious public forum such as this one, my YouTube channel, youtube.com/mastertainment. Please subscribe for me, please. But in my defense, y'all have been wondering where the hell I have been over the past couple of weeks, and now you know. Now you know what I've been doing. I've been losing my mind. Are you happy? But anyways, yeah, I think I'm done. I think I'm good. Wait, no, I'm not good. I have some more to say. I almost forgot some stuff. Just real quick, I think that this celestial babies and planets thing could explain why, one, Peter Quill is the only one of Ego's kids to carry this celestial connection to the light, as his planet of origin, Earth, had a literal celestial inside of it. And two, why Ego, the living planet, is a planet in the first place. I think that Ego was naturally drawn to making himself a planet because somehow his host planet was probably destroyed while he was being developed as a small fetus baby child, which would explain why the only physical component to Ego is his brain floating in this, like, liquid amniotic sac type of bubble. Like, Ego is literally just a brain floating in this, like, liquid, fetus sack of just weird water. Ego may not know where he comes from, but his inner instincts are telling him where he's supposed to be. Inside of a planet. And yes, before you all suggest it, I have considered whether or not it is Ego's face inside of Sanctuary. But I do not think that this is the case, because Ego has no reason to manifest his humanoid form from within his own planet. So probably not. Like, there's no reason for Ego to do that. But whatever, man. I'm done. This video is way too unnecessarily long, and I've been talking for like 2 hours straight, and I feel like I'm gonna pass out. Can't wait to edit this shit. Oh man, it's gonna be so great. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and if you haven't subscribed yet, do it, or just leave a thumbs up, or share this video. That also makes me happy on the inside. My name is MT, and guys, don't forget to be kind, okay? This is really random, but please be kind to one another, because the world is kind of crazy and it needs a lot of love. So I love you guys so much, and please pass on that love to other people. Really random, but I'm a random person. Okay, whatever. Bye.